Welcome to the lovely IHP community of paid and non-paid subscribers. And that is where, if you're non-paid, the link is below for additional daily mindset practices for those of you who have a body in connection. So the securely attached, non-traumatized person is working with all the emotional and mental full capacity. Why do we add mindfulness practices, mindset skills, and implement with the inner growth mindset? Because that's what allows you to choose to not live a lifestyle or mindset of mediocrity. And so enlightenment, it is not only a soul age group, it is actually the frequency, I know all about it, of those who are of spiritual, personal growth. Some of you might only be of personal growth, but I am a 5D Mystic content creator, podcast host, and mentor. Mentor one-to-one, you email me. The paid subscriber content is the easiest way for you to begin implementing what is an inner growth mindset that I began a long time ago. And you can find the main modules of the inner growth mindset program on the main website, inspiringhumanpotential.com. And if you are new, I have decided to begin to introduce immediately so that you can make your choices. So mastering your mind, it means you have and enjoy your body in connection. So it also means you know what the root of all trauma is. You don't need a special baton, and you don't need any kind of special toolkit. What you are going to know is those who take themselves seriously go to Patrick Tian. He's an awesome childhood trauma survivor and or Terrio, and they heal all of that unfinished business. So they do personal development with a good therapist, because the 3 years, those first three, yes, that's why we have our 3D, 4D collective, and I get to make fun of all of them with you. We don't point them out though, because we're not needing to. They will give us golden nuggets, as pseudo-intellectuals have always done. I'm pseudoscience because I know who scientists are. As for spiritual, our lovely spirituality community knows that all religions, all of everything comes under the umbrella of Anima Mundi, and the only ones who don't like it, again, they just keep using the same word. Luciferian era, Lucifer this, Lucifer that, evil, Knievel, medieval, and the people who are actually falling for it, 7 to 14, Michael Stone, forensic criminologist, evil scale. They're called charming, but they're not charming to functional inner child adults. Enlightenment soul age group, I do come with God, Jesus, and Holy Spirit. And as a mystic, I can tell you, when you do know sources in every person, it's not your divinity in the sense of your divine. No, actually, you will be overflowing in your divinity when humanity is overflowing within you. Thank you, Sadhguru. But also, as Dr. Daniel Siegel will have presented in a different way, science. When you are an integrated brain, you wake up energized, invigorated, and kind. And when you're an integrated brain like mine, my body is in connection because my default mode network is down-regulated consistently. I don't scan myself and you. You can call me all the names in the book. I've been having practice since I was a kid, because you know what I have? A clear conscious. Because I'm an inner child who's a functional inner child adult, so I live in the present. Present means that I'm in the prefrontal and I'm attuning to you, because you're going to be attuning to me. The difference is I know how to be securely attached and untraumatized, because I regulate Maria's nervous system into consistently ventral energy, which is what pisses the fuck off of those who don't resonate with the message of compassion. And it's not my business to tell anybody about their child parts. I just know I'm Pacha, they're Cusco, there you go. Our 5D collective, we love to be emotional, mental, and physical masters, because again, I walk very proud of all that I am, with integrity and actual virtue. And that muscle of working it, yes, it's called love ethics, and the people who don't want it, they don't have to have it. The Good Samaritan, the story that I shared with you, we don't actually treat our relationship to God and our spirituality in a way of us being anointed, the ones who are empowered. There's not only 144,000 chosen human beings out there, there's 8 billion. They're all children of God. They're all children of Source. They're all the same frequency at the foundation. However, their journey in life is to, if they want, be mediocre or not. So again, enlightenment is emotional and mental mastery. We say no to mediocrity with IHP IG mindset and lifestyle. Become a paid subscriber. You will help the community continue to grow, the content to continue to come forth, and really you're going to add to your daily practices. So we have 3 types of inner growth mindset. We have exercises, which are pretty straightforward personal development. We have with readings, and that's with tarot and themes. And then we got spotlights, where I get to spotlight really great smart podcast people, not the pseudo intellectuals. Those I just make fun of here. In the meantime, I have reading for you that I've been waiting to share with you all. Okay, so Here we go. Mastering your mind. It means you have and enjoy your body in connection. 5D Mystic Mindful Mentor, Spiritual Self-Help, Personal Growth Guide, Readings and Messages. And please note, neuroception, because if you are ignorant on the topic, just so you can get, it's very technical, but at least you can get a good understanding of what I'm talking about before I move forward. And it's not a race. Anyone who wants can go to Patrick Tian, good therapist, or Terry Real to get that stuff taken care of. And then with Pat Ogden, actually, sensory motor, somatics. So it's a very important road. Somebody will have spotlighted EMDR, child parts work, somatics, and then you continue with the daily mindset practices, with the daily mindset reading practices, with the practices are going to be ideas, thoughts. You can think and feel. You want to think and feel. You don't do I want it. Okay, so we learn how to say betrayal is not betrayal. When I meet an emotionally immature human being, they are thinking of themselves as brilliant with contempt, grandiosity. In the meantime, their destructive mode is their poor. No, it's not poor. It's their teenager who is hiding all of their suffering for the first 3 years of life and thinking they're badass when they're not. And that just makes me think of Pinocchio when he hits rock bottom. There's no need for Pinocchio to hit rock bottom. He got plenty of opportunities before he found himself flat on his face in water and his father had been eaten by a whale. Now we got some big ass story. It ain't how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get it and keep moving forward. That's how winning's done, because life ain't no rainbows and sunshines for the mediocre people who don't seem to understand why Gabor Mate says it's not why the addiction, why the pain. And what is the root of all trauma? Again, if you don't get your neuroception on board with a body and connection and those child parts. So when someone doesn't take care of themselves, I know, and I feel sad for the kid inside, because the kid is the first 3 years. Your implicit memory did whatever it could and your body actually did. That's the part. So if somebody chooses to close themselves off from themselves, it ain't my business. I ain't God, spirit, source in that way. I'm actually the same person who got told, don't play the know-it-all. Remember, I sent you my son. He suffered for your sins. Forgive, turn the other cheek. Blessed are those who believe without seeing. Remember not to cast a stone on your brothers and sisters. And remember what Jesus did. And whenever someone says he didn't walk with other people, there you go. There you got some self-righteous asshole who thinks they know that polyamory are whores. Are we now? That pronouns are an issue. So I have an issue with ignorance and with people who are brilliant. The sad thing is there's no reason to speak to any of them because they're already biologically rude when they come out with their bullshit sentences. So compassion is king because it will show you that you have what God is to me. Today is the launch of our lovely book, The Ways to God. I am a co-author alongside another 8 amazing spiritual authors. God is discerning equanimous love. So anybody who is making him out to be some monster from the medieval times are selling dogma, if I'm using the word correctly, are basically in areas where these human beings have no access to good academia. They don't want it. They think academia is stupid. In fact, they even think science is stupid. Or, science and technology is demonic. And then I think of Elvis Presley when he came out with his music and they cut his legs off from the TV, right? So if you meet ignorance, it's very, very clear. But as you get older, you think, wow, are these people serious? They think they're brilliant with ignorance. They got, 100 books from yesterday's news? Don't they know how the world works? I mean, we got flat earthers thinking they can challenge the round earth. We got people who think they can challenge the moon doesn't exist. I mean, they want the caves back, I guess. So again, when people are ignoring that which is data and that which is different data, and they're just wanting to stay with their belief, that's just why. Sam Harris, thank you, man. As he points out, realistic people, those of us who are realists, we will know any of our cherishable beliefs, grounded in reality, can be falsifiable. So anytime you meet a hunch, a little bit of contempt, grandiosity, or some stuff like that, just remember, you got a teenager in the room. Excuse me, you're confusing science, spirituality. No, I bring them together. I bring human, spiritual, and spirituality elements. I'm a mystic, mentor, content creator, podcast host. I'm an Akashic record reader, Reiki master. I'm a tarot oracle card reader. You know what I'm telling this dude, everything. No, I'm a mystic too. Okay, hold on. I was having a good personal development, spiritual growth conversation with somebody who needed that moment with each other. And I turn around and say, look, maybe I didn't do a good job because my men friends say I don't speak well. My women friends say I'm too serious. And I will let you all know I don't have the they friends yet. So when I have that, I'll let you know that I'm sure they're going to be very curious, open-hearted, accepting, and loving. And we're going to just have a fun time because, Now that we're all aware of what it means to have a body and connection, mastering your mind means you have and enjoy your body and connection. Otherwise, you won't be here, and you won't become a subscriber because you're not doing daily mindset and you don't really want to, because I have laundry, I don't want to do, I want to cry and be complaining about it. Zen Master, Enlightenment Frequency is a very amazing journey. It's called Restorative, Embodied, Self-Aware, Accountable, Regulating People. Thank you, Dr. Ann Siegel. Integrated brain, that's why shit comes up. Shit goes left, right. I mean, it's not shit. It's Maria's inner growth. Mindset, dealing with unknowns, uncertainties, unwanteds, unexpecteds from within with your open heart while going with the flow. You're going to get to apply that because you can. So you feel better in the morning, not less. You don't have maladaptive patterns of behavior. You don't have any of that which would be contempt, low frequency, grandiosity, envy, jealousy, spite that you ignore. And the people who are ignoring all their low frequencies, they're continuing to do the thing Patrick Chan points out. Justify their toxic relationships from Diego's family of Ice Age. They actually want those of us on the outside, all of them, doesn't matter which group they're in, to take their hand and say, I'm so sorry you're suffering so much. And that's not what I do, because that's really, I can't say I'm sorry for your suffering, because I will have seen how you've repeated your unfinished business to the point of where the seaweed keeps getting bigger within you, because self-loathing, gut wrench, torn apart, and all of that which is unhealed trauma, it withers away, not the soul. Soul don't get withered away. It's just the person who has a body, and dysregulated embodiment is really bad. Distress. You have bad stress, not good stress. So it's very straightforward to me when somebody is still low on frequency and energy. That Zen Master doesn't know how to handle his 3-year-old or 16-year-old. He is not yet a safe haven secure base of his 1-year-old. If he had been, then he'd be married like I am to the unknown, and he would know why enlightenment frequency is completely, body and connection right here. My 3-year-old, she's all great because all my child parts are great, because nobody can come and shame me because I'm a functional child adult. So when somebody has even bothered, quote unquote, trying, my teenage boyfriend, he didn't try shaming me. He just tried to do a bunch of different chit chat, but I was a teenager. And I'm like, no, I can't prove you intent, but I know my heart, and I know that I have a clear conscience. So sure, you can call me Evel Knievel. I'll accept that. Self-acceptance. It's not only about you accepting all of you. You also don't endorse behavior that is petty. And that's why we say no to mediocrity. I, to this day, am proud of every single choice that I've ever made. And someone who says, wow, really? Yes, really, because I don't have an issue with telling you how I feel, how I think, and then noticing that if you begin to get agitated, that you can't actually handle a conversation between differentiated selves. So I have my thoughts and emotions and my perception and my reality, and you begin to get in your hissy fit about it. To me, it's very clear who is on the side of only using left brain. It's structurally dissociated cognitive dissonance people. There's not something funny. That's why pseudo intellectuals are who they follow, and that's why they enjoy little golden nuggets, because they're limited consciousness. That's not what we are. We're expanding consciousness. So again, become a paid subscriber, link below, or if you're hearing me, you can find it on the homepage of any of IHP website stuff, IHP podcast, YouTube, Instagram. You go and find the podcast, Spotify, I'm sure most of you might use it, but let me, again, Neuroception explained before I forget, and then I want to read to you the reading of the cards that came up. Neuroception is what determines our response to everything in any moment of our life. It is not based on reality. It is based on one's perception. Dr. Amy, her video is Neuroception Explained, how your nervous system decides what's safe and why it matters for healing. The Biology of Trauma podcast with Dr. Amy. So it's a really great episode again, and she does a lot more. She shares in a technical verbiage, so if you get in any way, shape, or form lost, what you can do is go to NICABM. They have a lot of great information, breaking it down easily. They also have infographics, so you could look up the bright sides of neuroplasticity and the dark sides. So you don't have time to waste when you realize that you can completely be in a body that will feel safe and will feel soothed and will feel secure with your child parts. Because it doesn't matter what other stuff is added to the picture, you begin to work with you because you want to experience the depths of the connection with the whole self. It's very amazing when you get earned secure attachment people, because they will tell you, thank you Patrick Tian, about how open-hearted spontaneity is what comes forth, and how you get to see children growing up in households that don't have trauma parents, because they have parents and people who care about their nervous system. and their embodied brain, and to become the functional adults they can be. So when you have people who care about humanity, they're not playing Russian roulette and pretending to be a good father, or telling you as a good mother that it's the mother that needs to put the child on their breasts. Yeah, sure, whatever. If that's a dysregulated mother, I don't want to be on her chest. You obviously have no idea what a mammal is, and you're ignorant. So it's very easy to spot the ones who lack pieces of information. You might want to know I'm a moral perfectionist. So I'm imperfect and flawed, but I know data when I hear it. I'm intelligent because I like intellect, and I don't make up excuses for what I would prefer and what I don't prefer, because actually I'm a seeker. I'm consistently expanding. That's what pure consciousness does, which is why we are curious, open, accepting, and loving. And when I meet my brothers and sisters, as God chimes in to tell me not to judge human suffering, a waste of my fucking time, I continue to learn how to remember, yes, one, I get to accept, respect, and love all of my brothers and sisters equally. I'm not doing enough to be saluted. Got basically a look, but that's it, because I'm a consistent, contingent communicator. I did not feel bad for not looking at them, because for 3 whole years I had been completely they're not a friend. I don't even know them. They're a perfect stranger. I was cordial. I was formal, and I didn't give mixed messages, which is one of the things my men friends ask. Did you, you're very polite, Maria. You're very friendly, Maria. You're very, you hug people, Maria. So you do a lot of things that could make men think, okay, that's fair and square. That's why sometimes I'll get those men friends that I'm like, I guess I gave the wrong message. So when my men friends like to point these things out, or the women, doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of like, I'm a proactive person. So in this case, because I understand all of these points that these people make, I said, nope, I didn't do any mixing. I actually gave the whole cold shoulder. I'm a bitch, you see. I'm a bitch, I'm a witch, I'm a whatever. But yet in 3 whole years, the evening of their drunkenness, what do they do? And they're upset. They turn around and do this thing. I'm saying hi to everybody, and I'm consistently doing the same thing, which is I don't want to socialize with you. And they turn around and look at me straight in the eyes, and they say this, I'm not using enough to be saluted. And I giggle, not at them. I'm just like, shit, now what? And I say, no, this is not about decency. And they go and say, you said hi to them and them. And he's pointing out, and this is the moment of truth. I'm a functional child adult. I'm a grown-up who's a securely attached and non-traumatized person. Let me use technical verbiage. So, when you walk around with a bunch of people who don't know healthy self-worth, you should have told them what? You want me to be petty like you? Because that's mediocre. See, I can be a person who's proud to be Maria. Thank you, Jesus, because I said yes to that. So you walk a walk and talk a talk, or you don't know how to be a good Samaritan, how to walk like Jesus, how to walk even like a Buddha. Basically, people who want to tell me they're spiritual, but they don't know how to bring compassion. 1. Personal growth, development, I get that. Scientist, it's a choice. Determined, Robert Spolsky, he says we have no free will. That's fine with me, because I know who we're going to be. Because again, I know who I am, and I know what I'm bringing to the table. You being yourself is only going to be true when you can be a person who has intelligence, and that's with intellect and emotional. And then that's with self-mastery, and it is when I can be in my ventral vagal stance, because I do know it's about the body and it's about the mind, and I won't endorse my bad behavior because I don't need to close my heart and become an asshole. I also noticed that if you're closed off, that means you got shit going on. I have nothing to do with it. You could go to Patrick Tiahan or Terry Real and get it all healed up, and then maybe we'll have a grown-up actual conversation, and you'll be a human. Other than that, you'll be a 0-8-year-old. Codependent people, all they want are pats on the backs. I don't do that. So I allow myself to, again, not use my voice too much. And as God reminds me, don't judge human suffering a waste of your fucking back. Yeah, I don't. I know I get to keep my promise that I made to Jesus, and I get to keep my promise to him and to the Holy Spirit. And then as a mystic, to let you all know, God comes many different ways. As you know, our book is launching. The lovely co-authors and I, we're going to get together. We got a launch party. It's a very special day. And in the meantime, enlightenment, yes, you achieve it when you have the mind of yours, the body of yours in connection. That means with love. And then you recognize that all the smart data people are showing exactly what the root of all trauma is. And when you got people saying, I'm a healer, how dare you trauma dump? They haven't healed their root anything. That's a 4D body type right there. And it's like, you ain't healing shit. You just sounding like a mean girl or a mean boy or mean whatever. I mean, basically you're a little fad group. That's it. So trending topics, sure. Who wants to be a trend? I don't, because, but then again, I'm happy that all the mystic stuff is trending. Yes, because spirituality, mysticism, it all comes together with science. I bring it all in. So again, neuroception, yes, it is what determines. So it's not willpower or motivation, but knowledge is empowering people, except for the ones who deny it. So if you're someone who wants to harness your mindset, You want to harness it for well-being, for personal development, again, for spiritual growth. You become a paid subscriber of the IHP podcast, and you will find the link again below or on the main page. And it's ideas, stories, perspectives. And we have 3 types of content, which involves readings, plain old mindset exercises, personal development, and spotlighting. And with that, let me read to you. It's been an honor. Thank you for listening to me up till now and joining our community, free and paid. With the coming of the new moon, the ancient ones are proud of the earth keepers that are expanding consciousness and harnessing their higher human consciousness potential through anchoring in ventral energy that comes with living a restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, and regulating life. Thanks to daily inner growth mindset exercises, mindfulness practices, and mindset skills, the heart, mind, body, self of the 5D collective of mystics, spiritual and mindful living and loving people stay grounded in reality easily, which means, by the way, with Sam Harris and his quote, we know any of our cherishable beliefs, love you God, could be falsifiable. Dark matter, dark energy, please don't implode. Maybe the moon's not real, we don't know anymore. No, we do know. Okay, so grounded in reality easily. We're also able to stay in the present with the prefrontal cortex engaged because we have that integrated bilateral vertical brain, okay? And we pursue mental, emotional, and physical mastery and resiliency with curiosity and consistency because we don't have the trauma stuff that is actually sending our body in protection mode, which needs Patrick Chan because that's the inner child's past messy disaster that repeats itself. Having a body in connection makes it possible for our earth keepers to experience and handle moments of ease or turmoil with good stress, also called eustress. Thank you, Dr. Daniel Siegel, that I mentioned. I'm attachment trauma educated. I keep on doing certificate and educational hours because I care about self-help, personal development, spiritual growth. So I already knew we have a body, and that's why they told me everything. Spiritual people are no longer needed because sciences know how to get kingdom of God in you, heaven. It's called restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating living. So although I do love being of spirit and God and source and all of this, I said, hey God, guess what? My brothers and sisters, they're finally saved. Everybody figured out how to help them to get to what you and Jesus and all our ancestors were telling us to. So I'm happy. I don't want to die though. So I have fun living, and I'd like to stay around and help other people be themselves and have a nice collective of 5D mystics, spiritual and mindful living, loving people that can come together in many, many ways as you continue to subscribe, and I'll surprise you. I like to surprise. So you are able to, again, handle moments of ease or turmoil with good stress, an unwavering sense of self, and a deepening of the essence of life that lives within you, because you're also in aliveness, by the way. Harnessing an inner growth mindset ignites the passion of your heart and welcomes the mystical shamans and owls' wisdom, ancient wisdom that marries with modern day times and all the knowledge that is consistently being shared amongst us. You nourish what comes forth through you as a person who creates societal culture and change, and Mother Earth is joyous to see the number of Earth Keepers inspiring human potential by bringing forth the whole, authentic, true self and living a life in expansion. You're bringing forth all of you. Thank you for sharing who you are. That's the biggest gift you could give any of those of us who will appreciate you. And while the emotionally immature people, as you know, do not choose to bring forth their maladaptive patterns of behavior, they do choose to endorse and allow themselves to stay with their trauma unhealed. However, their brain has been impeded in its development. So please do recognize this and allow yourself to know the equation is always the same. Do you choose to stay open-hearted and kind to your brothers and sisters and walk the walk I do of what Jesus shared? Or do you choose to be a hypocrite and tell someone, I forgave, I'm a healer, how dare you trauma dump? And there's your hypocrites. And those are the same people say, there's all these fake people, they don't like truth. Or, yeah, people don't like the facts. Really? That's contempt, grandiosity, and a teenage attitude, which basically means there's a bunch of things. We're going to leave them out of the picture right now. Shoo, go away, low frequency people. So you can spot it like a hawk, but at the end of the day, while you're presented with it, if you are with this open heart, you're not going to respond. Because see, this is why I'm a securely attached, non-traumatized person, Maria. I'm a differentiated self. I have a whole self. You can't budge my sense of self because it's mine. I've chosen ventral energy. I've chosen love on purpose. I've chosen an open heart and an open brain and an open gut, and I'm attachment trauma informed. So the minute I have you as an insecure person I've had plenty of experiences, by the way, not doing anything with facades. My facade friend did, but I also have God always chiming in, and my heart. And in fact, it'll pull me back. It used to. Now I don't get pulled back. I just stand in the presence of somebody who's treating basically me like I'm no thingness, a piece of shit, like basically that they're just humoring me at this point in my life personally. I find it not angering. Why would I get angry? I'm not going to correct you. God is going to take care of all of it. Basically, when you die, you'll know. No, you won't. The other part, when people want to say that people who are evil live a good life, people who are evil need a therapist. They're not living a good life inside. And when they die, they will be back again. But as you would know, they're not going to remember. So really, why are you keeping tabs on some person who's living out their karma? Are you busy with their karma instead of doing your own shit? Oh, I'm sorry, martyr blamer. You're going to be pushy or a victim. So when someone's helpless and hopeless, martyrs, blamers, they all do this little codependent dance. It ain't fascinating. It's not fascinating to see men, women, and theys lie to themselves as they, again, abuse their own bodies in ways that are completely common sense. I mean, you don't need a genius to understand what alcohol does to your body, what drugs do, what fucking. It's not about the sex revolution. It's not about polyamory. Every single one of the addictive habits that humanity has, and it's not about our society moving into there's always someone they want to blame. No, it comes to neuroception. Where's your body? Is it in protection? Go to therapy, get it into connection. You'll find out how amazing ventral energy is. Oh, but it'll feel weird because your body's used to having fist fights with people. And I'm not kidding. It's called pseudo-aliveness. From the moment you're 0 to 8, if you lived in an unsafe environment, your body is used to having ups and downs and roller coasters and merry-go-rounds. I don't do roller coasters. They're very boring. They're very scary. Yeah, I don't do any of that fantasy, yucky, visceral shit. And there you go. So that's why I'm a healer. How dare you trauma dump? That's a person who is a superhero, supervillain. Is that how you motivate yourself? It's not the inner growth mindset. Oh, secure attached people get called boring by the coaches that are supposed to be motivating their actual clients to get into it, since it's your health. And when people actually they are resisting, yes, thank you, Dr. Amy, as you pointed out to that man, and as did Janina Fisher. Nobody self-sabotages. When people, actually I don't have my notes here, but when people are not healed yet completely, she got a question about why do they resist treatment that can help. And that's because their body is used to being in protection. I won't find the notes right now. So, there's answers to every person who wants well-being inside. The Zen master, he doesn't have it. Anybody who doesn't know how to process a charge with their mouth and the inner growth, again, that's why they're 3-minute, 5 and 15-minute, and you do it whatever it is because it's contemplative. But the person who's choosing to use the open heart and to not make up some bullshit story is the person who's thinking. And that's why functional child adults, I don't make up a story when I'm upset. I allow myself to evaluate what took place, and then I know I have perception and I have my subjective perception and subjective reality. Okay, so for Maria's 45-year-old body, and I ain't codependent, which is why I ain't going to be blaming, shaming, faulting, or avenging, because that sounds petty, unnecessary, not proactive, waste of my time. I'm empowered feminine. I don't need to involve you in any of my stuff. I know very well how to stay open-hearted and to have a fun time in life and a fun time with differences, because again, into the unknown, there's nothing scary. I'm still looking for a challenger of all human beings. Those who have a really fun time in the depths of their being. So I believe in you. Remember, believe in yourself. This I've had since I was a teenager. It's Bruce B. Wilmer. I'll finish this and then we'll read this. So as the 5D collective anchors in the higher frequency of love through daily mindset practices that ground the higher self in the body, we settle into using our bodies in connection and send a ripple of love and enlightening frequencies across the earth for all to benefit from. And just so you know, this is how I do readings and messages. It's food for thought. Because although as a channeler, downloader, and yes, a direct relationship with God I have, Source, Akash, and all the archangels and Jesus and every single bit of everything in consciousness sphere, I like to let you know, sciences, people, they also have this relationship. So we are all on the same boat. We all understand that the time, self, all this stuff, they use technical words that I don't remember. I'm pseudoscience lady, remember? But the point is that when you have what I call a 5D body type, and it's the ventral vagal state, people. We are not going to be destabilized when we're channeling, downloading. We're not overwhelmed because my window of welcome is growing again and again and again with energy, and that's because I have an integrated brain. And so I don't scan me and you. I'm not looking for a pat on the back. I also don't have child parts that get awoken because there's no inch of me that's insecure. I'm completely secure. That's why they think I'm cocky. I say, no, I am confident. You think you know it all, you're judging. No, I just am very confident in my cherishable beliefs, but I am grounded in reality. They can be falsifiable. I'm not here to prove. I don't do that. That's for academia if I wanted to use my effort like that. This is not a job interacting with you. It's social time. So I'm having a good time. What's the point? There is no point except for I get to know you, you get to know me, and we get to have a good time. That's it. That's the only, the point is building, the point is, what do you do when you go out? Don't you talk? But if you want to prove things, you go and do research like academics, and you do follow red tape because there's a very specific way that quantitative analysis works, qualitative, and that researchers do things and that prove it versus, again, I'm pseudoscience for a reason. The pseudo-intellectuals seem to know that everything their dogma is true, and the people who follow that bullshit, again, they don't like infinity and beyond because they don't like to say we know some things, we don't know all things, and then above all, they don't like to change. I don't like change where you've taken the rug off my feet, but I can handle it. Why? Because Maria's a securely attached, non-traumatized 0137. So I can take the hit. It ain't a hit. It's that, whoop, there it is my body's protecting me from any uncertainty. But my brain is also protecting me. And because it's a brilliant brain, I don't think, oh, let me go find out with that CIA agent how to fucking watch my back from secrets. I met them all as a teenager. Coward, 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 coward. Hey, God, so I met all these cowards. I don't see Lucifer. And I see that the people in cloaks hurt physically and emotionally and mentally, not only children, but also people that are getting married. They are all monogamous and apparently monoamory, but apparently they don't know what virtue, vows, integrity, men, women. So I have consistently told God all of it. He just keeps saying, don't judge human suffering, a waste of your fucking time. That's it. That's the chiming in, because everything else he takes care of. I have no fear. Because that's what, if you're faith, you don't have fear. Who wins? God wins. Duh. The only people who think he won't win are the same ones who, again, they're not going to be here because, and if you're scientists, please, you know already, dark matter, dark energy. Neil deGrasse, man, love you. So the scientists are out there doing research, which is what I love even more. And they've proven what I got taught with my good Christian Catholic catechist, which is every one of my brothers and sisters is a child of God. So I know that they can get the kingdom of God thanks to therapists inside of them, yes, because it's called heaven. And decentralizing of the self is not a bad thing. It's actually biologically something that can take place. They don't know neuroscientists. They don't believe in it. Or somehow they've thought of science as demonic for I don't know what reason. The whole stories from yesterday's news, they thought epilepsy was the wrath of the gods, and now we know better. Thank you, Hippocrates, for letting us all know the body is different. Yeah, and the soul is the same for all. So they knew it back then. We still know it now. So people who want to tap into your infinite higher human conscious potential experience, love, and the higher frequencies, because you welcome your true self with body, mind, heart, and self aligned in a secure attachment, non-traumatized, meaning you like to do this thinking and feeling, functional child adults. Again, become a paid subscriber. You'll help the channel grow and you'll help the channel sustain itself and stuff like that. And then we also have another lovely IHP IG mindset reading, messages, guides, and guidance and food for thought for the month's 5D Ascension energies. And I will read that one to you too. Give me 1 minute. That way you can hear it in case you don't come back. For those in the flow state, the human curse is not a curse, as we speak of it with the authentic self. Our staff of truth is one of wisdom, the owl's wisdom and the mystical shaman's wisdom. We are empowered feminines who have a relationship with the heart of the sky, with the earth, and the passion and fires of the earth. And with the ancient ones, we soar the skies like eagles, and we're connected to the upper world, and therefore channeled guidance, food for thought, all of that which is consciousness and wisdom, comes through us because we're not blinded by the smoky mirror of the subconscious. And we know that no one has to give away anything, that there's no sacrifice that is happening when change takes place. We know this from within because we have the capacity to stand in stillness as we have access to our soul, our whole self, our body in connection. And through this stillness, we also access and connect to the love of Pachamama and all that is. As gatherers and hunters, we are in balance with the mind. We find the way of beauty with being human and with knowing how to handle differences amongst brothers and sisters in society and the changes that are going on around us. Like the crow, with an aligned chakra system, we are witness and journeyer and speak our truth from a place of authenticity and emotional maturity. We get to speak the truth of emotional maturity from our inner child in the absence of charges or false distorted self, and have closed the karma wheel of low frequency and the lower planes. We have completed all that was the trickster's energy. We do not spiral in our minds. We have closed that not helpful mindset. We have learned from all that which was in a shame, blame, fault, revenge, and emotionally charged, non-metabolized state and states of self from our past. We're aligned completely as our own beloved and the beloved of all, and like the hummingbird, we fly great distances with the hunters and the gatherers. We can travel the lower planes while singing and drumming to the beat of the higher realms and the time master. That beat goes through the sweat lodge, where our thoughts and manifesting the vision, are manifesting the vision of those of us who are magical, wild women, empowered feminines on top of the holy mountain with a balanced feminine masculine, who know the serpent and the thunder of Zeus, and that our medicine wheel is our heart, with emotions that arise for us to process, and our thoughts that are like lightning, having the capacity to navigate the sorcerer within us, the subconscious and conscious, all in one and in wholeness, navigate the earth, while knowing that enlightenment is achieved through many paths, and that we've chosen to shake, rattle, and roll to the path of the embodied sun that tames the wind through the tree of life that we are. The tree of life that we are because of having and pursuing our physical, emotional, and mental well-being and mastery as our true, authentic self. Welcome, functional inner child adults, 5D collective of mystics, spiritual and mindful living and loving people who love to harness mindset, mindfulness, and mindsight. With enthusiasm, excitement, and curiosity, we integrate daily mindset practices and lifestyle choices which grow confidence, depth in the flow state, emotional resiliency, and more. So you can become, again, a paid subscriber. I get to be the 5D Mystic Spiritual Self-Help Mindful Mentor, Content Creator, and Podcast Host who you get to have fun with. And here's where, thank you, Sadhguru. It is the ability to bring out the best in others that makes you a leader. And as I like to share with you, love is supporting each other to fly. Love lifts you up when you're down, and it soars the skies with you when you're up. Love is always there. And I'm going to pause myself because I think that what I want to do is allow myself to read to you this, and then we'll close it out. And just so you know, if you're a regular, we will most likely have a couple more throughout this coming week of that, or maybe tomorrow, where I'll read to you in smaller doses, or maybe later. We'll find out. So, believe in yourself. Bruce B. Wilmer. Believe in yourself to the depth of your being. Nourish the talents your spirit is freeing. Know in your heart, when the going gets slow, that your faith in yourself will continue to grow. Don't forfeit ambition when others may doubt. It's your life to live. You must live it throughout. Learn from your errors. Don't dwell in the past. Never withdraw from a world that is vast. Believe in yourself. Find the best that is you. Let your spirit prevail. It's your course that is true. And that course is one of a person who has a self that leads. And so you're able to use your lovely mind and be focused with that arrow. You're able to be your own magic because you're that inner child who's a functional inner child adult, and the wild woman. All people have an empowered feminine, and they can be empowered masculines, but they'll be empowered because they're empowered feminines. So you're a seer, which means you can see, soothe, safe, secure, and keep yourself grounded in reality, where any of your cherishable beliefs can be falsifiable. The functional child adult can be aware any spokesperson is not your authority. So you don't get pissing your pants because you're not a teenager who's an insecure version of yourself as a grown-up. Because again, the fight response, all those people who are just poking at each other, they don't have access to the 5D and beyond. The council of the luminous warriors know that all people will expand or contract. Those who contract, they will still be on a journey, because love and fear have existed since the beginning of dawn of time, however you want to pose it, meaning the two opposites. So you can call it whatever you want, but consciousness expands thanks to you having, so from the spiritual perspective, free will to choose. Determined, Robert Sapolsky's book says you have none. At the same time, any scientist who is supporting with good trauma stuff, saying no, people do have a choice. And the ones who are taken upon themselves to take care of themselves, I love seeing it. In fact, what you will notice in the years to come is that we will have people who are navigating the love frequency, ventral vagal state, and who are participating with us that are narcissists, sociopathy, sociopaths, psychopathy, all of those, which the ones who don't want to welcome the modern day therapist, the healing of the body, it's not something we have to do anything about because we're still on earth here, okay? So we learn to tame the wind of our thoughts. We embody the tree of life because we embody the passion of Christ. Anybody remember it? The fire that burns within you does not ever get unlit when you are your true self. Why? Because not only am I a mystical shaman and beyond, the words don't matter. I have a relationship with my emotional plane. When I cry, it isn't a curse. Zen master, it's not laundry. If only you'd stop using that word and just allow yourself to be a human who has what? Vulnerability. Oh yeah, that's right. So empowered feminines, why are we unbreakable? It's not about being a woman. It's because I will rattle, shake, and roll the sun, which is my masculine and feminine, with God, the heart of the sky. No, oh, look, my brothers and sisters, they just chose to be a person who is cold as ice. And that was something I already met. Cowards know very well how to lie all the time. And then they like to make out stories. So Kundalini awakening awakens anyone. And the snake is not a bad animal, poor snake. They made up the story of Adam and Eve. When I heard that, I was like, so they lied to me. And now they're lying to other children. And they're actually teaching them not to believe in science. How are you going to create a future? You're going to die as you disengage completely from getting medical support and helping our earth. So anybody who's denying education, science, they have been wielding their words. Again, I don't do conspiracies. I do, cognitive dissonance, structural dissociation. I mean, really, it's not growing. We've always had the ignorant people. Now we just get to see them. So thunder and lightning aren't scary to those of us who know the stories of mythology. This is why a mystic that is in the Enlightenment Soul Age group that comes with a covenant, commitment, whatever the word is, with God, it's like, yeah, I have no doubt. I know what the upper world is, and I know that you live heaven in your body, and I know that if you're an integrated brain, a restorative embodiment, self-aware person, and you're a mystic, then you're going to be knowing that scientists too have access to consciousness because it's a big ball of energy. There's not need for us to be special and anointed. It's the circle of life. Na 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 na. So The Lion King is a very good movie, except for when they make out a bunch of more and they continue with the superhero, supervillain, people who are drug addicts of their drama. So yes, the ones who are going to stay in their teenage version, they don't know how to use their blade. Their mind is not connected with their prefrontal. Their amygdala is ruling. They're going to stay in that amygdala, and they're going to be committed to their 4D bandwidth. And so when I'm picking up on any messages from the upper world, I will be sharing them very differently. 4D, 3D body types, you gotta bet. It ain't funny to see somebody basically do El Dorado. And that's because I remember being taught about our ancestors sacrificing limbs and parts of each other. Again, people whipping. And I'm like, okay, has nothing to do with God. Now you're just stuck in time. And somehow there's a group of people that just, like the flat earthers, they just follow each other around. Well, 7 of 14. They're not charming to smart brains. They're only the very same charges, unhealed stuff. That's why the frequency. You're going to go to where your ears want to go, and what you hear and annoys you, if you're not aware, and then the owner of you, so you rise like an eagle to the sky. Okay, so if you are a 5D collective and beyond, you will always know that your 14-month-old don't rule you. Likes and dislikes. Nobody's an authority figure. Nobody knows all. There's groups of scientists, and they know that 97% of what is out there is unavailable to be observed. And when people say it's because of you, they're flat earthers. No, it's not because of me. Those human beings actually come together because they need to pat each other on the back. I, on the other hand, know how scientists continue to explore things. And anyone who doesn't want to, well, they would be part of yesterday's news because now you're wanting to stagnate. So curious, open, accepting, loving intelligence always knows we're going to ask questions, and we want people to ask. We want curiosity, we want skepticism, but you want to do it with an open heart, not with a I know better. So when you have contempt, grandiosity, shame, those who are irritated, they are irritated because their attachment wounds are flaring up, and that's because their right mode is not theirs. They don't dominate with an integrated mind, brain. Nope, they got a child part in there that's saying, isn't that true? It's the 16-year-old who's thinking they know shit, and it's, I'm not an authority figure. Your energy is unnecessary. The minute you're an actual seeker and intellectual, you're going to know that, because you're going to be like, yeah, I don't need to be pissy about a conversation. There's the vision quest into the unknown. We are continuing to build. The holy mountain doesn't actually crumble. Like in Mulan, when the emperor says to that guy, you can't, the wind cannot make the tree bend down, or whatever the word is. So any person who's true wisdom is going to be unbreakable because of that. I'll just stand and stare at you silently, because in the meantime, I got a buffoon in front of me. The beloved, it's an intelligent human being who knows that I'm not your medicine, you're not my medicine. We are our own medicine, and that's because the root of all trauma begins with your embodied brain. So again, the embodied brain is what you want to wield, because as Lisa Feldman Barrett points out, the brain is the one that keeps what was it? Let me get her for a minute, because she, right here, the brain is running a model of its body, Lisa Feldman Barrett. And Bessel van der Kolk, as he shares, the body keeps the score. Yes, okay, so nobody needs to sacrifice anything, but if you've got some negative story going on and you got some charges and you don't know how to handle it, when ascension energies come about, I've seen it again and again and again. So lightning strikes. This is the moment of decentralizing of the self, where you can expand. But as Patrick McNamara points out, when somebody has a fear receptor that's going wonky, nightmare after nightmare after nightmare, experience after experience after experience, you don't expand. You actually, in fact, revert. And that's why we have some of our lovely ex-mystic figures, people who were supporting us to continue expanding, who went and said, they're all demons, like complete 360. You know what that is to me? You're a hypocrite. You're a fucking fako. You're a hypocrite who doesn't even know intelligence, and you don't even know how to admit it to yourself. But there's no point. I can share it here. They can come point a finger at me and do all of it. The one thing I know, thanks to Porges, their ears are down. When you meet a 14-month-old who's completely choosing to be a moron because of all the data that's out there, I have nothing to say to you. I know the flow state. It's selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, richness. And that's why I am a sorcerer. And beyond just that, and when you read what 4D defines this as, you know, because they can't pick up on the frequency of the lower planes with a 5D body type, with an open heart and an open mind. And that's because they don't have, maybe it's the alleles, their window of tolerance to their nervous system. And so this is a part of where I have not ever had clinical dissociation with my panic attacks. I completely have managed them just fine. I kept reality check, make sure I'm healthy. So my sharing of this is that a person who is of our 5D community will not feel any of that which 4D goes around doing. Energy vampires, dark auras. I've had people read things and I'm like, yeah, that's not what happened to me. You don't know my life. And now I know it's because they have sensations, and so that's not how I have my body is really awesome. So here's Pachamama, unconditional love. As gatherers, we all will work together. With the beauty of the mind, you go very far, because here's where I don't have some negative story for myself. Like the hummingbird, you fly like an eagle, and you can gather and hunt. In fact, we don't need any of the low frequency people, but they will continue to coexist. But they spiral in hell, we don't. They continue to bring forth the ancient ancestors and think that they are actually bringing forth soul. We know what they represent, and in the meantime, we get to go beyond, use our ancestor, and move beyond the closed-mindedness, connect to that which is our lovely soul. And again, everyone is a part of that. All of our brothers and sisters can choose to be an angel of love. The ones who are angels of fear, what they're going to end up doing is dying out in the desert, but they're going to act like buffoons, and they'll think they took a hand, but really they're going to be following the ones who give them what is a dead end. Because again, when you are not waking up more invigorated every day and you're not leading from aliveness, you're going to be annoyed by this crow's voice, because I'll be able to share with you with authenticity and transparency and groundedness in an aligned, lovely chakra system what I can witness. The reason healthy, self-worth human beings get turned away at some point, shape, or form from the unhealthy ones is they don't want to go through the journey to navigate the lower worlds, but not to stay in it, okay, to navigate it, and then with the beat of the drum of life, in time, get to their health and that sweat lodge to be able to become the real empowered human being they can. And so then become an actual staff of truth. Empowered masculines, empowered feminines, we support, we create fair and just societies because we lead with compassion. As I will spotlight next week in one of our IG Mindset paid subscriber content, one of the podcasts of Sam Harris. So the corn, you're bountiful and you grow when you have the water of you, emotional resiliency and mental resiliency, because you've got your functional child adult, you're navigating all your child parts, great. You don't have a ghost, you don't have anything haunting you anymore. You don't have any negative stories, those karma wheels, okay? So you complete and have completed that to move into Dharma. No more trickster of the coyote. And here's our Earth Keepers. And so with the Earth Keeper Collective, we are the rain makers, and the rain that we share is the wisdom of the owl that doesn't fall for smoky mirrors, but moves beyond the bullshit. We know nobody gives away anything, and that when Earth is going through transformation, it's great, and that the smart entrepreneurs and scientists and technologists are the ones who are going to be building what is for tomorrow, the ones who give us golden nuggets. That's why we thank them. We, in the meantime, inside our bodies, are at ease with a standstill. And those people who are giving golden nuggets are not. But we are a collective, and that is why candlelight illuminates damage beneath the feet with wave of lights. That's mine. So everybody will have walked a path, and everybody will have been given the opportunity. The opportunity that I was given is the same one that some of you of spirit will know of. I'm very proud of the opportunity that I have been gifted. And the reason I make fun of Buddha is because he sat under a tree. That's what I opened this book of Siddhartha. I'm like, what? You could have done something. You left. Today I can tell you yoga, meditation, mindfulness, they support ventral vagal toning and integration of brain. And all of their stories, the way they end with cowards, that's how I define it. It's not that it's cowards, it's that finally there's a dissolving of this very destructive 0 to 16-year-old. Their adaptive child part, and they finally move into becoming, I'm going to bring in the science's words, functional adults. So they get integration. Their core narrative solo self and relational self becomes one. They have a whole self. Now they can handle their embodied brain and change, and they're emotionally and mentally mature. And so the dissolving of that low frequency, stupid ego is what I'm saying, which is why the self-righteous guy who realizes all the killing I did was unjust, the king who kills the one person who loved him because he was a person who he used all these women as his wives, and then he goes off to become this very sad ass poet. There's nothing highlighting to me when I hear you're suffering, dragged around like a pain point, and you want me to highlight it? So as an intellectual, again, person and of spirit and of God, I was a kid, I'm like, it's very easy, kind, unkind, make up your mind. Today I can tell you it's still easy. If a person doesn't want to be compassionate, kind, or smart, they will disregard their suffering. And then they will go around and hang out with the people, flat earthers, have a good time. So it's not going to end. We're going to continue to see the bountiful of different opinions, because that's the whole point of where one utopia would be, where I think we all think the same. It's not utopistic to think of intelligence as winning, because again, that's actually how it works. The ones who deny that intelligence involves compassion are the same ones who are destructive in their mode and blind, so their bodies are completely unhealed. The root of their trauma has not been uncovered. They continue with addictions. They continue with everything that will be an exaggerated drama king, drama queen who has a body that's consistently fighting for its life when there's no danger outside. It's simply something inside, and it has a very big, important deal. But if you don't want to save your own self, that's why when someone says we're here to, no, we're not saviors. This one guy is like, Jesus didn't teach us how to help people. I said, no, he did. How to open their hearts. They have to choose. If you don't choose to open up your heart to yourself, that's why, Terry Real, man, you're awesome. So when somebody is a person who loves, they love themselves first, and then they love you too. And now that they can love always, they can do this whole Good Samaritan thing. And it's not selflessness in this way of technical verbiage. Sciences will always give us these spectrums. The spiritual personal growth collective, because I'm of spirit, you don't have to be, but technical makes me laugh again and again, because I know how those spectrums and whatever get used. But when you're telling me somebody can be so selfless and you're giving me what you think can happen. I'm thinking you don't know what a selfless, timeless, effortless richness, what a flow state, intelligent, emotionally, mentally speaking person can be in. And you're actually also not aware of the fact that we are primary consciousness and secondary. And primary is why I'm an empowered feminine. My gut will say physical danger. I'm up and out. I will not doubt anything. You get up and move, but my body is in its health with connection and with my species. So this is where the radar, ding, 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 ding. Yeah, you can't prove this stuff. It's a journey people have to be on, and really you don't want to prove it anyway. So when someone says, humans are dangerous, you just leave it alone because they're still living an action movie. You obviously will always hope everyone can be physically safe. You obviously know not everybody will be, so we obviously do understand how the world works again. And utopia is something of everyone can think the same. Other than that, we can get our 2 hands, 2 feet, and do things because that's what our human species has always done. The ones who don't use compassion, they get more tired out. The ones of us who use compassion, we don't, and there you go. So everybody walked like an Egyptian is special equally. And on that note, God has everything taken care of. So again, today's the day, the ways to God. We're going to have our launch party. Okay, you know what I'm saying. So I'll share the link later. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.